Hello and welcome to the 33rd installment of my grading of all of the base game cards. If you want insight into the grading system, check out the description or click on the link in the top right hand corner to get to the first video where I explain it all. But let's get started. I think this episode is the one with the highest average scoring ever, and the first card definitely does its part. Research is a super influential card that is especially dangerous to pass on in the draft. Why? Well, the card in and of itself is not that great. You get 1 VP and 2 cards for 11 plus 3 MC, when the pure value of these two things is maybe 10 MC. But what elevates this card are the 2 science tags that come with it. It's the only card in the game with 2 of these, and therefore immediately one of the best cards in the science combo. Not only does playing it allow you to get some of the absolute best cards in the game down faster, so stuff like AI Central, AGT and Mass Converter, no, it also triggers 2 of the best card draws twice, Mars U and Olympus Conference. In the case where you have played both of them, Research draws you an insane 5 cards. In addition to this, Research is the best card to swing Scientists with, to the point that when I want to fund that award, I always ask myself first, did someone already play Research? All of this leads me to believe that Research should be placed in A tier. It's just that good. Next up, let's get to another global discount. In this series, I've already talked about Earthcat and AGT, with the former landing in S tier, while the latter had to be relegated to A tier due to its super high restriction. But still, you should already get the notion that discounts in general, and global discounts specifically, so those applying to all cards, are amazing. Research Outpost is not any different. In contrast to Earthcat and AGT, it only offers a 1 MC discount and doesn't hold any points, but in exchange it has other upsides. First of all, the fact that it lets you place a city is really nice, since you can immediately pick up resources or cards, either to make the card cheaper in total, get enough plans to convert, or draw into more science combo pieces, hopefully. And later, you can surround the city with greeneries and get more points out of it than Earthcat or AGT would have granted anyways. And then there's the fact that Research Outpost holds 3 useful tags that can be great for various milestones and combos, and also means that the card can be paid for with steel. I'd say out of the 3 global discounts, Earthcat is the best in the super early game, Research Outpost is better in the mid game when you hopefully can pay for it with steel, and AGT is more of a late game piece since it has such a higher science requirement. Nevertheless, Research Outpost is an amazing card and definitely deserves an S tier placement. Back-to-back bangers today, because next up we'll talk about Restricted Area. In my opinion, the second best continuous card draw in the base game, right behind AI Central. Let's compare it to Development Center and Inventors Guild, probably its closest counterparts that are in my opinion considerably worse. All 3 don't have any restrictions and can be played right away. Development Center, however, requires you to get Power Prod down in addition to it, and therefore it's a card that in 99% of cases cannot be activated in Gen 1. That brings me to my next point, cost. Even though Restricted costs the same as Dev Center and is 2 MC more expensive than Inventors Guild, on the face of it, it is actually often cheaper than both of them. This is due to the fact that it lets you place a tile with which you can collect placement bonuses and also rebates, and is just super valuable in general. And of course, Restricted Area is anyways cheaper than Dev Center, for which you also need to pay 7 to 8 MC on average to get Power Prod down. And then there's the activation cost. To actually draw a card, you need to pay more with Inventors Guild than with Restricted Area, and while it is true that 2 MC are worth more than 1 power, the fact that your Power Prod can be sabotaged by energy tapping or PSD definitely has an impact on the average activation cost of Dev Center. All in all, I think Restricted Area is one of the best cards in the game and a game changer in the early game. In my opinion, it's an S tier card. I guess the letter R is used a lot in science, because next up I'll talk about Robotic Workforce, one of the swingiest cards in the game. More than any other card, Robotic depends on what you've played already. Its effect can range from being unplayable, or literally yielding a negative result when trying to copy something like ElectroCAD, to yielding absolutely insane results, for example when copying Dome Farming, Morehole Area, Heat Trappers or MATLAB. In addition to that, Robotic Workforce holds their precious science tag, that can be really valuable on its own. Due to that swingy nature, but also the fact that you and your opponents will at least have 1 or 2 decent cards that could be copied almost always, I think Robotic deserves a B tier placement. Let's round out the episode with Rover Construction. This card is quite unimpressive. Sure, if played early, its city rebate can yield a bit of money, but most of the time it's not enough to outweigh the cost of buying and playing the card. I don't think this card is insanely bad or anything. It can help get builder, it can be a steal sink in the late game for a point, and it can turn steel into money if a few cities get played afterwards. For Whiter and Changcheng Mars it's especially good, but it's just unimpressive as I said earlier. And again, it's a victim of the dilemma of wanting to play the card as early as necessary, but as late as possible. So early enough to catch all cities that get placed, but not too early to prevent you from playing real production cards that grant resources on their own. All in all, I will have to place Rover Construction in D tier. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments whether you agree with my ratings, or if not, how you would have rated them differently. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And lastly, please check out my Twitch and my Twitter. See you in the next video.